Hello Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading with me, Cindy. This week, Scorpio, is Fairy Week, so you get a message from one of the fairies. There's a fairy in particular that would like to be spreading messages to you all this week. And if you haven't been to the channel yet this week, then you may not realize that the Oakmen came through to me in a message that they wanted to be the fairy that came out for each zodiac sign. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to go into the book. I'm going to read to you what the Oakmen are all about. It's a very interesting message. And I am then going to pull for you a card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck to you from the Oakmen. And then I'm going to go into the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Tarot deck, and we're going to find out what are they advising you to release, advising you to embrace. What are some of the hidden or unknown factors in the situation, as well as what is the energy that is approaching you. And there is an extended at the end of this. The link is at the top of the description if you're drawn to that. And in that extended, you do get a card from the actual fairy deck, like as a shuffle card for the archetypal energy of your inner child. And then we find out what your inner child would like to talk to you about. All right, now we're going to get started with the Oakmen, Scorpio. The Oakmen. Strength, ancient wisdom, and depth. I had an interesting lesson from the Oakmen about how we humans use fairies to mirror our own projections. The eyes of the Oakmen are a warm light brown, but some people look at them and say, "Oh, red eyes, scary." I tried a little experiment using digital magic. I made a copy of the Oakmen and gave them blue eyes. I then asked some people for their impressions of the men, and words like innocent and sweet and melancholy came back. Then I changed them to an unreal looking violet and got responses like, "Oh, so spiritual, so wise." Had the Oakmen changed? Of course not. But what people projected onto them had. When we look at a fairy, we can simply project all of our fears and insecurities and prejudices and delusions on them. Or we can try to see them as they are. In a sense, all oracles are simply mirrors of the wisdom and confusion within the reader. But if we only look at them through our personal filters and projection, we learn very little. It is only when we actually try to see beyond ourselves that we begin to use the oracle as a mirror of the cosmos and all of its wisdom. One member of the oracle group looked at them and wrote, "When I see this card, I lose all track of time. I feel deep grounding and peace, contentment. Everything is there if you just take the time to be part of it. It is a deep homecoming for me." To me, the Oakmen show the deep wisdom of age, the inner peace and strength of the elders. This is what the Oakmen are about. Can you look at them and see them as they are? Or can you only see your own projections? The universe, like the Oakmen, is full of wisdom and compassion and strength, but it doesn't always come in pretty packages. So in a reading, this card depicts the strength and wisdom of age. It also reminds us that what we need to know, what is truly there to be seen, cannot be discovered by a superficial glance and hasty reaction. In a reading, the Oakmen tell us to look slowly and deeply into the heart of the matter, and to see past the superficialities of the surface. Consider the history of the situation in depth, and learn from the past. Consult others with more experience than you have. Learn from the wisdom of the elders, both those available to you personally and those you encounter in books and elsewhere. In this matter, it would be wise to make your decisions after more pondering and study of the situation. Consider motivations in depth. Take action only after thorough deliberation. The Oakmen tell us that haste may be, at this moment, our worst enemy. They also suggest that we might learn a lot from trees. Consider the trees and their wisdom. Connect with a wise old one and ask for help. And the quote from Brian, the creator of this book. Fairies speak to us in many, many ways, and we perceive their intent with our ears, our eyes, and our hearts, and our laughter too. Sorry, I'm tripping over my orthodontic device today. So that is the Oakmen. So now we're going to go into, and it's, I mean, I've read it. What are we at now? Are you the 10th? Yeah, you would be the 10th. Zodiac, I've read that for this week. And every time, you know, there's a certain part of it that resonates to me a little bit more for each. And the part about one of the people in the Oracle group talking about when I look at them, time stands still. And I couldn't help but think of your reading last week. We're stopping time. And then there's like more and more meaning out of it. It's interesting. So can we get an energetic card here for Scorpio from the Oakmen? A card to Scorpio from the Oakmen. A card to Scorpio from the Oakmen. I almost said the Scorpmen. That's funny. Card to Scorpio from the Oakmen. I'm feeling a sense of very Scorpionic secrecy around this reading right now. The starfish. I'm getting like all of this energy and all this, like the message around this, like, I don't know, maybe some of you are not feeling worthy of something, or feeling, I kind of feel like this message here with the Oakmen is for you to recognize something that you have a great ability in, or something that sets you apart. To stop maybe looking at that as a fault, and start really seeing it for kind of the gift it is. Because you think about that, right? Like, we're all very different, but we're all also very similar. But being, you know, social animals, we tend to want to focus on what we're similar with, what similarities we have with one another, or how do we fit into the group, right? Because that's a survival tactic almost too, right? If you think about the evolution of humanity, if you're in the group, if you're in the tribe, you're going to be better protected. You're going to have a better chance of getting food, of finding a mate, like all of those things. But we're not really living that way anymore. And I'm just kind of hearing with this starfish card, something about you that is very unique, and maybe you don't share it much with others or the rest of the world, but you shouldn't be afraid to. And maybe it's as simple as like one person you could trust with this. And that's the first step here. There's something very unique that the Oakmen would like you to look at about yourselves. The bee is at the bottom. That's totally like, the bee to me is so much about and it's a little bumblebee. They're just so amazing. I know, somebody always has to wreck something with science for me. Because, well, up until, like, I don't know how recently scientists finally figured out how it's possible that bumblebees fly. But I had been under the impression, and that's what I associate with this card, is that they couldn't understand. Like, they're too big, they're too heavy, their wings are not long enough, broad enough for this great, and they don't fly well. But they do it their own way, right? They do it their own way. That's really coming through here for you. Something very unique about you. And maybe you're not as aerodynamic as a wasp or a honeybee or a fly, but you do it your own way here. And it's something to be celebrated, something to be like really embraced and loved within yourself. Even if you don't want to share it with the rest of the world. And I don't want to force anyone to share any part of themselves if they don't feel safe doing that, because there are still a lot of places in this world where, you know, there's all sorts of different aspects of being human that are not accepted by certain cultures, and some people still live in danger. So I don't want to give you anyone the impression that, you know, sure. But just to recognize it in yourself, appreciate it for you. So maybe there's a little part of you that feels like, oh, this isn't that great about me, or, you you know, maybe this is something wrong with me, that I feel this way, or I have this ability, or I do something. There's something unique about you. But my gosh, what a world would we have without bumblebees, right? And that tells me that there's other bumblebees just like you out there. But first you have to appreciate what this beautiful little thing is about you, inside you. That's really cool that the bee card was at the bottom with the starfish in this message. Yeah, I think that's really the first step here, is something within you that's very unique, very beautiful to the world, though. The world needs it. I mean, the world needs more unique qualities of people, and people feeling comfortable enough to share those unique qualities. And a lot of times anyone who is, you know, making you feel ashamed of some sort of unique quality or aspect about yourself, they're often jealous because they don't have that, and they haven't looked inside, like they haven't really looked inside to appreciate themselves as well, right? If they can't appreciate themselves, then they don't spend any time appreciating other people. So don't let the grouchies influence you. Don't let the Oscar the Grouches change your perspective about something very unique in you. So let's go to the tarot here and see what this is about. It could be a completely different message. Really beautiful first message coming out, though. All right, Scorpios. What are they being asked to release, asked to embrace, any hidden factors that they are not aware of, and the energy that is approaching them? Did you guys get one of those readings? It would be 2 or 3 weeks ago. And there was a couple instances where people were going to be approached. Energy coming towards them was envy. And I'm feeling that right now. And it's funny because it just kind of came out there, right? Like people that are envious of something that you have, or an ability. Wow. 2 mothers and a son. That's cute. You have the Mother of Cups, the Mother of Wands, and the Son of Pentacles. Ooh. Well, now that's interesting too. Because Wands and Cups is all your energy. This is... And the Son of Pentacles in between these 2 energies. There's something there, but I don't want to get into that. Those are the underlying that I was looking at, so I don't... It feels something about this underlying energy. I know, like, you can take this 2 ways, because it is showing up with the 2 energies, right, that are Scorpio. Like, you have this fire and you have this water energy. But it feels like, you know, it's 2 court cards. It kind of feels like 2 individual people here. Specifically, you are a water sign, but you do also have the planet Mars, which gives you the fire. So I want to be inclined to say that you are showing up as the Mother of Cups, and then the Mother of Wands is another. So this Mother of Wands is very protective. Very, very protective. And the Son of Pentacles sits between these 2. So I feel like there's something between these 2 energies. Let's see. So what are you being asked to release is the 4 of Pentacles. So if you've been in a point of, you know, kind of keeping yourself wrapped up just in you, working on your own stability, keeping your energy pretty tight, you know, like really also too, I want to like really, yeah, keeping your energy tight here. Like not necessarily wanting to share too much of yourself. or being pretty specific about who you're sharing that with. Coming into a point to release this. You have some, wow, yeah, like, you have some major energy here. What are you being asked to embrace is the world. Major new cycle change here, like a big, big cycle change. It feels big. I'm not going to lie. Scorpio, it feels really big. Because then you have the hidden factor that you are unaware of is the Hierophant. There's something going on here. There's some sort of information in the background here. A key to some sort of knowledge that you seek. That you are unaware of. And the energy that is approaching you is a Ten of Swords. Just like, I mean, like, this is really, really heavy energy. So the world, you're being asked to embrace some sort of, I want to say, the beginning of a new cycle here. Because when things end, I want to say, like, this is the kind of energy that I often see in a reading and that, you know, just experience through life, that you kind of, that people get into when there's been major endings. And it comes out in fours. Like, it's about stability. It's about healing. Resting. You know, containing energy. Because after any sort of major changes in our lives, whether those are good or bad, we do kind of seem to need, like, some time just to handle the reset, right? So it's almost like you've been in that reset energy, being asked to release it, because there's a big new cycle coming towards you. And the hidden factor is the Hierophant. But there's something here that's approaching you that's also had a major ending. It feels like someone else's energy outside of you. This feels like something else. Well, it's a hidden factor, right? That makes sense. Let's clarify this. There's a lot of darkness in these cards. I mean, this is really cool. Because this Four of Pentacles is the only card that, outside of the World card, where the color is starting to come back into the images, this is the only one that has a lot of color in it. Which tells me in some way the whole idea or reason that you're kind of being self-contained here is to, in a way, protect whatever this kind of special gift, energy, idea that you have are. Because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of lighter colors around that, right? And what did I say? Like, I don't want to tell anyone to go out and share something about themselves in a community where they may not be safe to do that. So maybe there's some sort of a change coming. If you're not in a community where you can feel safe, sharing, you know, something very special about yourself, perhaps there's a shift here. Like with the World too, that can have to do with travel or movement in some way. It's definitely movement of a cycle, coming into a new cycle. And this World has the colors forming all around it. All that color is forming all around there into that new beginning. All these circles, and this is a circle, and it's full of color. I think you're generating, like, right? There's something about you. There's been a very intelligent reason for you to protect this, if that's what you've been doing. It hasn't been safe for this energy to come out. It's also, I kind of feeling like needing to strengthen that energy, to strengthen the colors in this. And here it comes. But first, like, see, there's something around you here that has no color. The only color is this lightning strike, and it's just a touch of orange, and it's mostly yellow. Thinking of, like, the second chakra, like vulnerable. There's something that's being protected. Let's pull out clarifiers. There's something going on here where Yeah, there's some sort of darkness outside of you. So let's see what that's all about. But your new cycle is based on the color and the uniqueness and the energy that you have. So you are kind of like been protecting your new beginning. Okay. Okay. Oh, the cards want to speak. They won't let me. I was just going to shuffle and then pull out. No. Okay, well that came out too. Why did it come out? Yeah, you're manifesting. Oh, divine timing is coming into play here. Oh. Ten of Swords. Just energy. Oh, wow. Oh, you have two aces. Yeah, there's something. Look at that. The Ten of Wands is at the bottom. And then the Hierophant. And then the World. How crazy is that, right? Like the Ten of Wands is not too different from the Ten of Swords. It's, I mean, yeah, I guess energetically it is different. But it's still about like a final ending here. Some sort of a final ending. The Hierophant in the World. Ten of Wands, the Hierophant in the World. The underline. Whoa. It's like... Okay, so what you're being asked to release. This feels like you have been protecting something in you. You've been protecting your energy. You've been protecting your new beginning. I said that, and here it is. Because you've got the Five of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Death card. Death and rebirth. You've been protecting a new beginning. Because look at, in the past, things were very disappointing. They didn't work out. It's a little bit like I'm not moving. I feel like refusing to allow any sort of new cycle to become something like this. So you're feeling like, well, the best way that I can try to guarantee for me that any new cycle, new major cycles that I move into are positive. They go like with the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, they go slow and steady. There's success along each step along the way. There's no hastiness, which is interesting. Hastiness, because that came up in something that the Oakmen were talking about. And there's balance here. There's balance. There's equal give and take in whatever I'm involved in. If I find myself in a situation where I have a lot more to give than other people, I'll do that. If I know that people have a lot more to give to me than they are, whether it's time, emotion, that's okay. I'll move on to what I feel is comfortable for me. And then, like, and there you are with the Death card, getting ready to go into the rebirth, right? So you've been protecting a rebirth here. And you've been doing it in a very practical way with all of these pentacles. Very practical. Very fair. And now here you go. And so what you get ready to embrace is the world, right? Here we go. A big new cycle about to begin. The Three of Pentacles, the Temperance, and the Magician. This feels so much to me when I pulled them out. I'm still getting the same message. It's some sort of divine timing here and getting ready to manifest. Like you've been protecting something, and you've really, I want to say you've done it successfully, because here comes a new beginning. And it's got all this color that you have been, you know, guarding or honing, nurturing. But again, there's a practicality here with the pentacle. Working along with the information that you gain, sharing information. Again, there's sort of that equal give and take. You know, I don't know that I would say that with the Three of Pentacles, though. Because there's two people standing here talking and the other person's doing all the work. But that energy is going into Temperance and the Magician. This is where I feel like you really are coming into a cycle where things will be equal. The hidden factor is this Hierophant, right? Now these are all the repeats for your underline too. The Knight of Cups, the Strength card, and the Three of Cups. I think a hidden factor that you were unaware of is something sort of divine timing. There's some sort of divine timing playing out here. Time has really been an interesting factor. It was huge last week. It's coming out a bit this week. Not as strongly, I don't think, anywhere that it is here, like that I'm getting right here with some sort of divine timing playing out. With the Strength card, I feel like you have strengthened your water. The watery aspect of you. Ah, that makes sense. Okay, here we go. That makes sense, right? What's driving, like look at the direction of these cards. This Queen, Mother of Cups, the Son of Pentacles are all both directed towards the Mother of Wands. And the Mother of Wands energy is protective. It's kind of like the fiery element of you is in a protective stance. The creative part of you, right? We're talking about all this creativity and color. The unique part of you is being very, very protective. It has been. But look, it's almost like, the Son of Pentacles is like the Page of Pentacles. Or sort of like, actually no, the Knight of Pentacles. But it can be a little bit defensive in this card. It's a young buck. But there we go, the practical plan to move forward. And it's really being driven here by the watery, the intuitive, the emotional side of you. And there's celebration here, like that has strengthened. It's almost as if, it's like maybe with these two energies that you have, with both the Mother of Cups and Wands, that you were really in the Mother of Wands energy here. Even if it was very self-contained. And working on that, nurturing it, balancing it, harnessing it. Creating an equilibrium within it. And it's as if a side effect of that, like an offshoot, is a strengthening of your cup energy. Without even maybe having realized it, because now it's coming through, like that you were unaware of this. It has really strengthened the cup energy of you, like opened up the heart chakra. Too, like, right? What was it? I said, like, it's so important that you recognize this in yourself. You accept it in yourself. Even if others don't. Helping you, like, really to love yourself more. I mean, it's such a simple way to say it. Like, right? Yeah. Helping you to love yourself more. The key was there, but you found the key. You found the key to this for yourself. The energy that's approaching you, though, this doesn't feel like you. The Ten of Swords, and it's approaching you. You've already been through something, it looks like. The Queen of Swords, the King of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Fool card, and the Ace of Swords. This is like a whole paragraph of an explanation here. What is approaching you? Whatever's approaching you needs to, because it's in the Nine of Swords, right? And it's completing the cycle going into the Ten of Swords. It's releasing a mental burden. I want to say that. It's like a mental burden here and it produces anxiety. So somebody outside of you who is possibly in like a darker period, working through some stuff, and it's producing a mental anxiety for them, and it needs to end. Like, they need to end this. But now we have another queen. There's an awful lot of queens coming out. Now you have the Queen of Swords, right? And the King of Wands. On some level here, there's a counterpart to a level of you. Someone who has the same sort of creative, energetic pieces that you do, let's say, that you've been honing on and working on. There's a real potential here for a really good new beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. It feels like doing something practical here. Doing something in a practical way. But once you kind of get that going, you do take some sort of a leap of faith or a chance. And maybe that's some form of communication with the Ace of Swords. There's definitely something that needs to be communicated to you. That's what I feel like is the energy that's approaching you. Because when we're in anxiety, anyone who's in the Nine of Swords, they're thinking about some sort of situation that they haven't resolved yet, and they don't know how to resolve it. And it'll start, like, you can't, sometimes you just can't get the answer thinking about it. Like, you have to start actively doing something. And that's where I'm feeling like this is going to happen. So there's some sort of energy outside of you that will be communicating to you. And again, like, look at it. There's a burden that needs to be dropped. The Hierophant, this is all, again, a divine timing. There's really divine timing playing out. It's funny. I bought a new calendar. Talking about divine timing. Yeah, because I'm thinking, wow, there's only like... Oh, when does this come out? Yeah. Well, when you get this, there's only 2 more full weeks of this year. Right? Yeah. So I need a new calendar for the office. Or my little office here. So I got a puppy dog one. So I got a little puppy dog one. They're going to hang up soon. But I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of change that happens in the new year. This one ends, thank goodness. But yeah, something. I'm just going to see if anything specifically comes out about this. I think we've kind of solved it, but I want to see if there's something else. The Mother of Wands, the Son of Pentacles, and the Mother of Cups with the 8 of Swords. And the Star. The 3 of Swords is at the bottom. The 5 of Swords. See, you know, it's interesting because 3 of Swords, like sort of some sort of mental conflict between like the mind and the heart, or that they can't agree on something. Something doesn't make sense, but the heart tells them something else. So, right, like there's some sort of mental anxiety going on with this 10 of Swords that approaches you. And here we have the 8 of Swords and the Star. The Star! The Starfish! Holy, that's crazy! Yeah, it's almost as if there's someone around you that maybe can't approach you or can't come towards you with this 8 of Swords. But the Star... I do feel there's 2 things here. A wish fulfillment of some sort with the Star. There's a lot of healing that has taken place. And B, whatever block you've created that might, you know, you might still be in, because you're being asked to release this 4 of Pentacles, that you have been in, right, with the 8 of Swords, because that's also not movement. There's a big shift. That's the other thing that's been coming through a lot lately. Is like going from like Page of Cups to 10 of Cups. Going from like 8 of Swords to the Star. Huge, huge possibilities at your fingertips after feeling like very trapped or not having possibilities or options to move towards. Or feeling like you need to hold up in an energy because it's not the right time to move forward. So whatever that is, again, a huge shift here. So let's see. I'm gonna push all this down. I'm gonna get ready to do your extended, guys, and see what your inner child has to say to you. Thank you so much, Scorps. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.